This time on Custom Works, we're making bad things look good. Let's get to the workshop. So then, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be taking a look at that asymmetric grille on the 60s truck, and when it comes around the corner, I'm not quite happy with the shape. It's looking a bit, it sort of goes down and makes the car look a bit sad, so I want to bring it up into a menacing grin. And then, what I'm going to do is, that Nissan lump inside the 60s truck engine bay, it's not going to cut it because we're going to go with the glass panel in the bonnet, so we've got to make that engine look a little bit more special. Okay then, so a couple of weeks ago I was on about this bit, and this bit isn't right. So if we look here, looking down at this bit comes out, and yeah, it is parallel with everything, but I want more taper, because even though it is parallel, and it's sort of how it should be, doesn't mean it looks right. I think it sticks out too much, and I think this needs to come in, I don't know, 30mm, something like that. I'm not dead sure what needs to happen. What I'm sure of is, it's going to happen now, it's going to happen with the Sawzall. Now this is the thing about building a car in fiberglass and dye bond and stuff, is that when things go like this, you can change them back really easy. And with very little sort of, oh, it took me weeks to hammer that piece of steel to shape. It's none of that. I just, boom, cut in there, change it, and you know what? Only took me, I don't know, a couple of hours to do that. So I've not lost that much, but definitely with a bit of, it's going to be a lot better. It's Sawzall time, and I'm going for speed setting number 2. There's a slither of that gone, and now I'm going to pull it in a little bit. I might just cut it a bit more, because obviously I want the bottom to come in as well. But you can really see, obviously this is a foam it was formed out of that's still in there. But like, is that like 5 or 6 mils of fiberglass? My God, this thing's strong. Really strong. Like, that's probably too much fiberglass for a panel, but hey, there we go. Things change, we swap them around, and fiberglass sometimes gets pretty thick, but having a car that's too strong, that's never been a problem. A load of that out, and now what I can do, I can pull this back in, and already just that little taper off of there makes a hell of a difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of screws in there to hold that back, and then I shall re-glass this area, and the adjustment is made, and the mistake is a distant memory, and let's never talk about it again. And there we have it. I think that's about right. It's hard to tell. What's it meant to look like? I have no idea. But that has just pulled that in a little bit, and I would say never be afraid. If you've made something and there's a problem, cut it off, do it again. because it's just going to do your head in forever. This has been doing my head in ever since I did it. I thought, oh God, I made it too wide. But now I've just took that back a little bit, just makes it a bit more delicate coming into the wheel arch. And basically what I'm trying to say is it won't be the only thing I ever look at on the car, because believe me, I've never built a car that hasn't got a glaringly obvious problem with it. And every time I see one of my cars, that's the only bits I ever look at. So still trying to make a car without a glaringly obvious mistake in it. Although I've got to admit that probably to most people no one else notices. But it matters to me, and it'll matter to you once the car's painted. Right, so I pulled that in a bit, I've sanded it, but you know what, I still think this drops down a bit and it should raise up. And like I say, this is parallel, but parallel straight lines are very, very rare on cars. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try and angle this up a little bit, so in this sort of plane, just to make that not seem like it's drooping down, because that line doesn't come in very good with this line, and it's just not right. This is how it all works. Getting a body right like this just takes a bit of chopping about. So I'm going to cut some more off of here, I'm going to re-angle that and see if it's any better. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I've got this off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to see where best this goes, and I'm thinking about there. And I'll be doing this with the help from second in command on bodywork design, Miss Kirsty Winterton, who's going to hold this while I have a look to see how it looks the best. Right, and so what I've done here, I've arched it up that way a little bit, and I've tapered it back in, and it now looks more like the car's smiling. So probably smiling because it's so cool and it's a badass, but it definitely does look a lot better. And I've raised that probably 10 mil. It does seem a lot of effort, but it's all the bits that almost you think no one will ever notice that makes a car look good. Sometimes you can see, just today, let's say today lunchtime, I was eating my lunch, looking at some cars on YouTube, because I just can't get enough of it for some reason. There's a couple of cars on there, amazing customs, but they had a ripple, they had a bit of, you know, like really poor panel gap and stuff, and it just takes away from the car, and you can just tighten those bits up. And things that seem almost like a inconsequential sort of thing, altogether makes just a lot better picture. I'm going to stop talking now because, wow, it stinks of fiberglass. We've just been working on the meat wagon and the smell is unreal. I feel a little bit like I'm drunk. But anyway, I'll get some filler on this. I think that's it for today. All that's cut, looking good. What I've done here is I've mixed up some like P40, and that's what David's Isopon calls it, this like fiberglass stuff. But what I've done with this is like a bad Chad tip, this is. I've added about, no, a bit of fiberglass resin with hardener in that, and I've mixed this up just so this is a little bit sort of sloppier. I'm going to skim in around here, remake all this bit, but I will go over this with some proper glass and resin just in case anything ever cracks. But this does make a really good, you know, nice wet sort of filler. And what I want it to do is get down in all these cracks. If I just go over this fiberglass mat and resin, the problem I'm going to get is I'm not going to fill into the gap, so it's always going to be just super thin just there. So I'm going to fill this first, and then I'll glass over it at a later date. I've added a layer of fiberglass over this just to make sure it is super strong, and it feels super strong. This reglassing of this has even made this floating section even stronger. So next job now, trim this up, fill it, and start to get this looking like a real car again. However, that's for another week because we've got other things to get on with. Okay, so on the 60s truck, it's going to have this glass panel in the bonnet. Now, of course, it's going to be asymmetrical. It's going to be made out of 20mm acrylic. It's going to have polished beveled edges. All the tricks. And that is going to be there. But then underneath that, what's it going to be? That 2.7 Nissan engine? Yes, it's reliable, but my God, it's not very pretty. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to build a fake engine top over that. Now, for anyone who knows any of my past builds, I do quite like a dressed engine. So I could have some retro carbs and stuff on a fully fuel injected engine. This is what I did on Cosmotron. And then also, even on Automatron, you know, there's a lot of dressing on that engine just to make it look awesome. And even more recently on the non-standard. You know, the non-standard, nice runaround, good on fuel, cheap on insurance, everything. No need to cram a big V8 in there, but no harm in having the look and just popping that engine at a show just to keep people guessing. No harm at all. Right, so parts I've got at the minute, I've not got a lot of parts, but let's have a look at what I have got. So, first up, I have this rocker cover off of literally the worst engine in the world, off this Jag Straight 6 that I had. And I've got this that was on Cosmotron for a while, but then I had a change of mind. But that's quite nicely made and finished, so that will probably turn up. I'm not even that bothered about would it actually work, because of course the 6 bits on here would never line up with those. I don't know, it wouldn't be right. But hoping it will come together. You've only got to glance in and think, oh, there's a beautiful engine in there. It must have a beautiful engine. I will ask no more questions. I will make no more inquiries. I will just believe it has a lovely big straight 6 engine. And actually, it's just got that Nissan 4-banger. But those are the bits. What I also have, these small cups. Yeah, we're back. We've got cookware going on. You know it's good when there's cookware. So these look a lot like velocity stacks, and once they've got a gauze in there, which I'm thinking, how can I get that gauze? I'll go to Wilkinson's, I'll buy some tea strainers. Like, why Wilco's is still selling tea strainers? No one's out of tea bags? What's going on? Why are they even selling that crap anymore? Anyway, I don't know, but what I do know is they'll make the perfect gauzes to sit in there, 6 in a line, something like that, but with just this cookware. These parts of, well, one of them isn't even a part of a car, and this rocker cover, yeah, I'm going to make into an awesome engine, and then an awesome window, and it's going to look great. Yeah, you're right, I am literally starting with junk and cookware. So, first off, just so everything wobbles with the engine and everything's super safe and nothing's going to fly away, I need to make some super strong brackets to mount all this junk on top of the engine. I've managed to pick up these 2 mounts, I think, for the air cleaner. This mount, which is for if you're ever lifting the engine out, it's the eyelet there. And also on this bracket back. And I've got that really strong. Now, I know it's a triangle, but it'll do for now. And now what I've got to do is work out where all these bits are going to fit on. So I'm thinking this will go about there. So obviously I need something to bolt that up to. And then the rocker cover there. I'll do some other stuff over there. Some sort of intake, mock intake on it. And then it should really start looking like an engine. And cover this up. And when the bonnet's down, with the glass section in the bonnet, it will be a really cool detail on a really cool custom. I've got everything safe on the engine, but this is how it's going to be. So I've got all the bracketry on, and now it's time for the good stuff. So my plan goes like this. So first up, I've got this sheet of acrylic. Yes, it looks white at the minute, but it's just got the protective covering on it. This bonnet will come up to here. This will open with the bonnet, 'cause of course this doesn't open at the minute, so we get a smoother sort of line in shape. This bit's going to open, this bit will be clear. Underneath this, glittering engine of delights. Okay, so what you've got to remember is, through that acrylic window, you're not going to see everything, but you're going to see enough to make you think it's a real engine. And, you know, just like a tantalising glimpse at what's in there. So, at the minute what I've got, onto that triangular bracket, I've bolted this piece of steel, and this is about a piece, I don't know, 4 or 5 mil plate, so it's really strong, and something that I can drill and tap to fix this rocker cover to. And that's bolted down, and all of this comes off so I can access the engine. It all comes off really easy as well. So that's on there, that'll go on there. I shall chrome this with that special chrome paint. Down the other side, I've got what was going to be a fake manifold on Cosmotron many, many years ago. And that's bolted on there. That'll have some better bolts. We'll probably repaint this, maybe tint it gold or something, I don't know. And that's going to look pretty cool. I'll also drop in some like HT leads, things like that. Make it look real, just so when you walk by you glance in there and think, Now, thing is, why not put a Jag engine in it, or just another bigger engine? Well, the thing is, for all its wildness, this car is going to be a daily driver, and the Nissan lump gives you such good reliability. Yeah, not brilliant performance, they're quite slow, but it is rock solid on reliability, good on fuel, everything. And doing something like this, yeah, it'd make it into a cooler show car if it had that crazy engine, but it's not going to be as reliable. It's not, and this I think is the most important thing, it's not going to be on the road as much. And a car like this needs to be on the road so people see it, and then people go out and also build ill-advised cars. So, that's that up to now. So we need to dress this up a little bit more. So what I've done, I got these little like finger bowl things that look a bit like velocity stacks. I've got a piece of tube, welded a blanking plate on the tube, bonded these to the blanking plate, and now these bolt on here as if to make a kind of inlet manifold. When this is done, they need to have some gauzes in to look like some sort of air filter. And like I say, it's not going to all look perfect, it's just got to give you a glimpse through the bonnet of how it'd look. So, I'm going to fit these on, and then let's see how cool they are. They're bolted on, you sort of get the idea. What I'll do, everything in there, like I say, is going to be chromed. And because it's not the real parts of the car, things like the actual stack part to the velocity stack, I'll be able to chrome wrap that. So we will have a lovely load of twinkly stuff down there, this great rocker cover, and then the filters in there. Like I say, you're not going to see all of this, because of course you've got the glass panels only going to let you see certain things. And also the glass panel won't let you see anything like over there that I can see at the minute, which is the master cylinder off the taxi, which is just a big old taxi master cylinder. You won't see any of that. It'll all be hidden. And this will only be revealed once you've lifted the bonnet, and then you'll be able to C to access everything. But just for that glimpse as someone walks by at a show. And just so that the whole concept of the car is complete, that's why we're doing this. So, you come on, you see the engine, you see the crazy bodywork, you see the crazy interior inside, the bike on the back, all of that. Everywhere you look, everything is nice, everything is finished, everything is in the right style. Okay, so that's it for this week. Don't forget, go online on our Etsy store. There's a link like somewhere around, and you can buy t-shirts and stickers. They're super cool. Do that now. Do it, do it, do it. Okay, and don't forget, you've got to click subscribe, thumbs up, bell icon. Leave a comment down below if you liked or disliked anything in this episode. So, don't forget to join us next time. Thank you very much, and good night.